Hello guys, my name is Mugisha Emmanuel and welcome back to this YouTube channel Mugi Crafts, where we create and beautify. So in today's video we are going to be learning something totally different. We are going to be learning how to make a mini flower pot. Yes, you can put your flowers inside so that you beautify your spaces. And guys, please watch this video till the end. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video to friends and families. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos on this very channel. So, let's go! Here we are going to begin making our flower vessel, our flower holder. So we have our materials here. Different colors, hope you can see them. So we have our light blue beads here, hope you can see them. So these are diamond beads. So we also have our white beads here, hope you can see, and we shall also need our dark blue beads, right? Yeah. So and after that we shall need our string. So you can either use 0.70 millimeters or you can use 0.80 millimeters or 0.90 millimeters of the string. Yeah, so it depends on your choice that you really need, right? Yeah. Then we also have our cutter, of course, for cutting off the unwanted parts of the string. Yeah. Then so we are going to start, right? We are going to begin with our white and our white beads, and then later on we shall put our dark blue beads, right? So we're going to begin with only white, right? So you're going to begin with only white beads. So the first step to do, we're going to get part of your string. So first step to do, you're going to get part of our string. You can say it's long enough, right? Yeah. So we are going to be using our 6 beads pattern, right? You're going to be using our 6 beads pattern with our white beads. So what you're going to do now, you're going to get 6 beads. You're going to have 6 beads. Hope you can see. You're going to have 6 beads. So those 6 beads, you're going to first put 5 beads into the string. So you first put 5 beads into the string. So you put 5 beads into the string, right? So after putting these 5 beads into your string, what you're going to do next, you're going to get your 6th bead. It's the one you're going to use to tie with. So how do you tie? You interlock the 2 strings into the same bead, right? So make sure the same level, the strings on the same level, then you pull. You're going to pull with the 6th bead like this, right? So when you pull, it makes this ring. Right? You can see. Yeah. So right from there, then you're going to continue with our process. We're going to continue. So we're beginning with the base. Yeah, the base. We are beginning with the base. So then you're going to continue. So what you're going to do now, you're either going to use your right hand side of the string or your left hand side of the string. So it depends on which hand are you comfortable with, right? So for me, I'm going to use my right hand side of the string. So right now I'm going to need 5 beads only. So I'm only going to have 5 beads, right? So I'm going to put 4 beads into my right hand side of the string. I'm going to put 4 beads into my right hand side of the string. So after putting 4 beads, I'm going to get the 5th bead. It's the one I'll be tying with. So I bring the other side of the string. I pull. So make sure you pull. Right? So after pulling, this is how it becomes. If you can see, we have now 2 rings here, 2 circles. So what you're going to do now, you're going to get this lower string here, this lower string facing downward. This lower string is going to enter into the next bead, right? So you're going to do that. This lower string is going to enter into the next bead. Like this. Then you pull. Yes, then you pull. You make sure you pull. So after pulling, yeah, then we are going to have this upper string here. It's the one you're going to be using. So this upper string, you're going to use 4 beads. Hope you can see 4 beads. So you're going to have 4 beads into this upper string. So you're going to first put 3 beads into this string, 3 beads to enter into the string. Then you get the 4th bead. It's the one that you're going to use to tie with. You're going to get the 4th bead. It's the one you're going to use to tie with, right? The one you're going to use to tie with. We pull. Yeah, so after we continue the same process, you're going to have this string enter into the next bead again. It's going to enter into the next bead like this. It enters into the next bead, then you pull, right? You pull. So after pulling, again we are going to get 4 beads. Again you're going to have 4 beads, right? Again you're going to have 4 beads, whereby you're going to consider this upper string here facing upward. So you're going to put 3 beads into that string. You're going to put 3 beads, right? Then after putting 3 beads, we're going to get the 4th bead. So it's the one you're going to use to tie with. You're going to use the 4th bead to tie with it, like this. Then you pull. Make sure you pull, right? So after pulling, you continue the same process. You're going to get this lower string, enter into the next bead. Enter into this next bead here, like this. So after entering into the next bead, you're going to again get 4 beads again. You're going to have 4 beads. So you first put 3 beads into this upper string. First put 3 beads, right? After putting 3 beads, you're going to tie with the 4th bead. You're going to tie with the 4th bead. Yeah, so you're going to tie with the 4th bead like this. Then you pull. Make sure you pull. Make sure you pull. So after pulling, then I'm going to have again this lower string enter into this next bead, right? I'm going to have this lower string enter into this next bead. It's going to enter the next bead like this, right? Alright, so after that, again you're going to have 4 beads. Again you're going to have 4 beads, right? You're going to have 4 beads, so you put 3 beads into this string. 2, 3. 2, 3. Then you get the 4th bead. It's the one you're going to be tying with. So you're going to be tying with the 4th bead. Then you pull. So make sure you pull properly. So after pulling, now we're going to have again this lower string enter into these 2 next beads. It's going to enter into this, into the next bead. Enter into the next bead. Yes, then again we are going to have it enter into this next bead. Right? So like this, it's going to enter these 3 next beads. So when you're at the end, you consider the string to enter in these 3 beads, right? Yeah, so what we're going to do now, we're going to have 3 more beads to make 6 patterns, right? So we're going to consider 3 more beads. So we already have this string here on my right hand side. So I'm going to only use 3 more beads to complete the pattern. So I'm going to first put 2 beads into the string. Then I get the 3rd bead. It's the one I'll be tying with. So I intercross into this 1 bead. Then I pull. Then I pull properly, right? So after pulling, this is how it becomes, right? This is how it becomes. Hope you can see. So let me know if you have reached this step here. Let me know if you've reached this stage here, so that we continue. Please, you can comment. Let me know in your comments, please, if you have reached this step here. Yeah, so that we continue, right? So if so, then we can continue. And in case you haven't understood this, how to create this base of it, please let me know in your comments. You can comment so that I get to know how to help you or you can replay the video as many times as you want so that you can be able to understand this process here, this first process of the base, right? So right now we are going to the next step, right? You're going to the next step. So the next step, as you close with one bead, you don't need to put the string into the next bead, right? From here you're going to go straight, but this time around you're going to only use 4 beads pattern, right? Instead of 6, you're going to use 4 beads as you are going upward, right? So as you are starting, we are starting with 3 beads. Why? Because there is already 1 bead here, down here, that is going to complete the 4 beads pattern. So we're only going to have 3 more beads. Only going to have 3 beads, right? So what you're going to do now, I'm going to use this right hand side of the string of mine. So you can decide to use your left hand side of the string. Yeah, so for me, I'm okay with the right hand side of the string. So I'm going to use my right hand side of the string to put 2 beads into the string. Then I'm going to get the 3rd bead. It's the one I'll be tying with. I'll be tying with the 3rd bead, right? Then I pull, and I pull with the 3rd bead like this. Then after that, I'm going to have this lower string. I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead. It's going to enter into the next bead like this. It's going to enter into the next bead. So after that, I'm going to have 2 beads. I'm going to have 2 beads. I'm going to have 2 beads, right? 2 beads where I'm going to first put 1 bead into this upper string here. I'm going to put 1 bead like this. So after, I'm going to get another bead. It's the one I'll be using to tie with. So I'll be using the tie with the 2nd bead. I pull. Make sure I pull. Make sure I pull. Make sure I pull like this. So after pulling, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead. It's going to enter into the next bead. So I'm going to put it into the next bead. So make sure you can adjust. So it's going to enter into the next bead like this. So after putting it into the next bead, I'm going to have 2 more beads. I'm going to have 2 more beads like this. I'm going to have 2 more beads. I'm going to first put 1 bead into this first string on my right hand side. Then I'm going to have another 2nd bead. It's the one I'll use to tie with. So I bring that aside of the string. I intercross into that 1 bead like this. Then I pull. Then I pull. Right. So after pulling, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead. Right. This lower string enter into the next bead. So I'm going to put it into the next bead. You can see this, it enters into the next bead, right? So after entering into the next bead like that, I'm going to again have 2 more beads. I'm going to again have 2 more beads like this. So I first put 1 bead into this upper string. Then I'm going to have another bead that I'm going to be using to tie with. So I used to tie with this 1 bead like this. Then I pull. Then I pull properly. So after pulling, then I'm going to again have this lower string enter into the next bead. I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead, right, like this. Then I pull. Then I'm going to have 2 more beads again. So I'm going to first put 1 bead into this upper string. Then I get another bead. It's the one I'll be using to tie with. So I'll be using to tie with the 2nd bead. I intercross. Then I pull. Like this. Right. So hope you can see the shape. So you can see the curves that is creating like this, right? So hope you can see these curves. So we are going to continue the same process. You're going to have this lower string enter to the next bead. Enter into the next bead, right? It's going to enter into the next bead, so you can adjust. It's It's going to enter into the next bead, then you pull. So after pulling, again you're going to have your two beads. You're going to have your two beads, right? So you're going to have your two beads. You're going to first put one bead into this upper string. You're going to first put your bead into this upper string, then you're going to have another bead. The second bead is the one you're going to use to tie with. So you're going to use the second bead to tie with, then you pull, then you pull, right? You pull. So after pulling, you get this lower string again, enter into the next bead. So it's going to this lower string, enter into the next bead, right? Like that. So right now we are going to continue this same process until we finish this end of it. So we're going to only be using two beads. We put one bead in this upper string, you tie with another one. Then you get the lower string, you put it into the next bead. You get another bead, you put, then you tie. We're almost finishing our round. So right, you can see. Yeah, so as I said before, you're going to be using two beads. So you're going to consider this upper string. So you first put one bead into the string, then you're going to get another bead. It's the one you'll be using to tie with. So you get to the other side of the string, then you pull, like this, right? So when you reach at the extreme end, what do? So you're going to continue the same, but you're going to put this lower string here, this downer string, enter into the next bead, then you put it up here into this upper bead here, facing upward, right? So you're going to do this way. You're going to have this lower string here, enter into this next bead. So you can put it into the next bead like this. You pull it from down. Make sure then you pull it from down like this, right? Then this same string here is going to come upward, but this time on this upper string here, right? It's going to face upward like this, right? From down, So you put it from down, and it comes up here, right? Yes. Then after that, then you're going to pull. You're going to have to pull, right? So after pulling, here you only need one bead. So I'm going to bring in one bead. It's the one I'll be tying with. So I can put one bead into my string. Yeah. So this same one bead is the one I'll be using to pull, like to intercross the two sides of the string, and then pull. So when you pull, this is how it becomes, right? This is how it becomes when you pull. So this time around, I'm going to bring in my dark blue beads, right? So, but we're going to be using 5 beads pattern, right? From 4 to 5, right? So we are going to now use 5 beads pattern. 5 beads pattern, that means we're going to make 5 beads. So we're going to have small rings, small circles with 5 beads, right? All right, so but we're going to be using our dark blue and some white beads, okay? So what we're going to do now, you're going to consider this right hand side of the string. So you can either use your left or right? So I'm going to use my right hand side of the string. So I'm going to first put one dark blue bead. So then I bring in other 3 white beads, right? I'm going to bring in other 3 white beads. So I'm going to put 2 beads, other 2 more white beads into the same string, right? Then I'm going to have one white bead that I'm going to tie with. So I'm going to tie with one white bead. So I bring in the other side of the string, I intercross, then I intercross, then I pull, then I pull like this, right? Then I pull. So after pulling, I'm going to have this lower string here enter into this next bead here. This string enter into this next bead, right? So I'm going to have it enter into the next bead, so I can put it from this side, inside here. Enters into the next bead like that. So after doing that, so I'm going to have two white beads and one dark blue bead like this. So I'm going to use this upper string here. I'm going to put my 2 white beads, right? After putting your 2 white beads, I'm going to have my dark blue bead. It's the one I'll be tying with. I'll be tying with dark blue like this. Then I pull. Then I pull with dark blue, right? Then I pull with dark blue. Then I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead. This lower string enter into the next bead like this. Enter into the next bead like that. So after doing that, I'm going to have now, this time around, I'm going to only use dark blue beads. I'm going to only use dark blue beads. I'm going to have 3 dark blue beads that I'm going to be using, right? Then I'm going to consider this upper string here. So I'm going to first put 2 beads into this upper string. Put 2 dark blue beads. Then I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue. I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue beads. I'm going to tie with 1 blue beads. 1 dark blue bead like this. So I hope you can see how it becomes. So after that, I'm going to have this lower string here enter into the next bead. This lower string is going to enter into the next bead from behind like this. Then you pull from the front like this, right? Then from here I'm going to only have white beads. So I'm going to have 3 white beads, the ones I'll be using. So I first put 2 white beads into the string like this. Then I'm going to tie with 1 white bead. I'm going to tie with 1 white bead. Bring in, then I pull like this. I pull like this. So then after that, I'm going to have this string, this lower string here facing downward, enter into the next bead like this. Enter into the next bead, right? I'm going to enter into the next bead like this. Yeah, so after entering the next bead, so I'm going to have 2 white beads and 1 dark blue bead, right? So whenever you reach this side, you'll be tying with dark blue bead where this dark blue rings is, or this dark blue circle of the beads is. So whenever you reach this extreme end, you tie with a dark blue bead, right? Whenever you reach this extreme end, right? So you're going to put 2 white beads into the string. 2 white beads into the string. So after that, I'm going to have 1 dark blue bead. It's the one I'll be tying with. I'll be tying with 1 dark blue bead. Then I pull. Then I make sure I pull. Then I make sure I pull, right? So after pulling, you're going to have this lower string enter into the next bead. To the next bead like this, right? So after entering into the next bead, I'm going to have 3 dark blue beads. So I'm going to have 3 dark blue beads. So whereby I'm going to first put 2 into this upper string here. This upper string, I'm going to put 2 dark blue beads. Then I'm going to tie with 1. I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue bead. I'll be tying with 1 dark blue bead. Then I pull. Right? So hope you can see. So then again, I'm going to have this lower string. I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead like this. To the next bead like this. It's going to enter into the next bead, right? Just 1 next bead. Yes. Then after, I'm going to have 3 white beads. I'm going to have 3 white beads. So I'm going to first put 1 white bead into the upper string. Then I put the second white bead into the same string. Then I'm going to tie with the 3rd white bead, right? I'm going to tie with the 3rd white bead. So I'm used to tie with. So I pull properly. right? So after pulling, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead, like this, right? It's going to enter into the next bead like this. So after that, remember what I told you earlier. Whenever you reach this extreme end, remember to tie with a dark blue bead, right? So you're going to have 2 white beads and tie with 1 dark blue bead, right? So if you have a different color, then you tie with a different color, right? Yeah, so I'm going to have 2 white beads into this upper string here. So after that, now I'm going to have 1 dark blue bead. It's the one I'll be tying with. I'll be tying with 1 dark blue bead. So I bring the other side of the string. So I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue bead. I make sure I pull. So after that, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead. It's going to enter into the next bead like this. It's going to enter into the next bead. So after that, I'm going to have 3 dark blue beads, the ones I'll be using to tie with. So I'm going to put 2 beads into this upper string here. Then I'm going to have the 3rd bead. It's the one I'll be using to tie with. I'll be using to tie with the 3rd bead like this. Then I pull. I make sure I pull like this, right? So after pulling, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead here, to the next bead like this. Then I pull like that. Yeah, so from here, I can have my white beads. So I can have my white beads, 3 white beads. So then you put into the string, right? Putting into the 2 into the string. Then you're going to have the 3rd one. It's the one you use to tie with. So you're going to tie with the 3rd bead like this, right? Tie with the 3rd bead like that. So after that, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead like this, right? It's going to enter into the next bead. Yeah, so we reach again this extreme end, but remember we tie with the dark blue bead, right? So you're going to have 2 white beads enter into this upper string like this. Then you're going to tie with 1 dark blue bead, right? You're going to tie with 1 dark blue bead. So you bring in the other side of the string. You're going to tie with 1 dark blue bead, right? You're going to tie with 1 dark blue bead. Then you can have your lower string, this lower string here, enter into the next bead like that. Yeah, so we're going to continue this same process until we reach this extreme end. Yes. All right, so here we are finishing. So right now we are going to fill up this gap here. So what you're going to do now, you're going to only use 2 beads, 2 dark blue beads, right? Yeah, so you're going to put 1 bead into the string. Then you're going to tie with another bead, right? Another dark blue bead. It's the one you'll be using to tie with. Yes, then we pull. Right? So after pulling, so this is how it becomes. Hope it gives you this shape here. So let me know in your comments, please. You can comment in case you haven't understood this part here, and in case you have understood, please let me know in your comments. Please comment so that I can get to know like how far you've gone now with this, right? So right now we are going to continue the process. We're going to go upward, but this time around we are going to use 6 beads pattern. Remember we started with 4, then we have gone to 5, then right now we're going to go to 6 beads pattern. Why are we doing that? Because we need this shape that goes upward to make it wider, right? So we're going to go with 6 beads pattern. So what you're going to do now, you're going to have this string here. You're going to have this string here enter into this bead here, the next bead. Before you start putting any bead, so you're going to first put this string into the next bead like that. So the string is going to cover 2 beads, right? So after doing that, now we are going to have 4 more beads, 4 dark blue beads, right? We're going to have 4 dark blue beads, right? So these 4 dark blue beads, you're going to have this right hand side of the string. I'm going to use this right hand side of the string. I'm going to first put 3 beads in it, into the string. After putting 3 beads, then I'm going to have the 4th bead. It's the one I'll be using to tie with. Right? I'll be using the 4th bead to tie with. So I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull like this. So after doing that, this time around this lower string here, this lower string is going to enter into these 2 beads, right? This lower string here is going to enter into these 2 beads like this. Yeah, so you can pull it from this side. Yeah, it's going to enter into these 2 beads. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have 3 more beads, but this time around we're going to use white beads. I'm going to have 3 white beads, the ones I'll be using to tie here. So I'm going to have first put 2 beads into the upper string. So I'm going to first put 2 beads. Then after, I'm going to tie with 1 bead. I'm going to use 1 bead to tie with. So I'm going to tie with 1 bead like this. Then you pull. So make sure you pull this. Remember, this time around we are using 6 beads per turn, right? So what I'm going to do now, we're going to have, after here, I'm going to have this lower string enter into these 2 beads, these two next beads here. So I'm going to have this lower string enter into these 2 next beads like this. So you can adjust. It's going to enter in these 2 next beads. So after that, I'm going to have again, so this time around I'm going to have 2 white beads and 1 dark blue bead, right? Remember, as I told you, whenever you reach this extreme end, you tie with dark blue. Yeah. So I'm going to have 2 white beads into this upper string here. Then after, I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue bead. I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue bead. I'm going to tie with it. So I pull. So I'm going to pull. So after pulling, so I'm going to have this lower string enter into these 2 beads here. It's going to enter into these 2 beads here. So you first put into this 1 bead, then you put into the 2nd bead again, right? So after that, I'm going to have 3 dark blue beads. I'm going to have 3 dark blue beads. Whenever you reach here, you get 3 dark blue beads. Yes, to complete the pattern. So I'm going to first put 2 beads into the string like this. Then I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue bead. I'm going to tie with 1 dark blue bead like this. Then you pull. So after doing that, I'm going to have this lower string enter into these 2 next white beads like this, in these 2 next white beads. Yeah, so after that, I'm going to have 3 more white beads. I'm going to have 3 white beads. So I'm going to first put 2 beads into the string, 2 beads into the string. Then I'm going to tie with 1 bead. I'm going to tie with 1 bead like this. I'm going to tie with 1 bead. Yeah, so after that, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next white beads again. So I'm going to first put into the first one. Then I put again into the second one. To the second one again, right? So after that, remember, whenever I reach here, so after that, after putting into the next 2 white beads, I'm going to have other 3 beads, but this time around I'm just going to have 2 white beads, 2 white beads and 1 dark blue bead, right? So it's the one I'll be using to tie with. So I'll be using the dark blue bead to tie with, right? I'm going to use that to tie with. So after that, I'm going to have this lower string again enter into these 2 beads. It's going to enter in these 2 beads. So this lower string is going to enter in these 2 beads. So I'm going to have it enter into these 2 beads. So it's going to first enter into the first one. The first one, then I'm going to have it enter into the second one as well. Yeah, so after that, I'm going to have 3 more beads, 3 more dark blue beads. So I'm going to first put 2 beads into the string, then I'm going to tie with 1 bead, right? I'm going to tie with 1 bead like this. So like this, what you can see. So after doing that, I'm going to have this lower string enter into the next bead, the next 2 beads, right? So we're going to continue the same process. We're going to continue the same process, going round and round, you see, until we get this same shape all around. So you're going to go like this 2 more times, then I'll show you how we can go to the next step now, right? So we're going to continue until we reach these extreme ends 2 more times up. Okay, now you're going to have this lower string here. Hope you can see we have moved 2 times, right? We have moved 2 times, hope you can see. So we're going to now fill up this gap here. So we're almost finishing. Yeah, so what you're going to do now, you're going to have this lower string here enter into the next 2 beads. It's going to enter in these next 2 beads. It's going to enter in these 2 next beads, right? So you pull. So after putting into these 2 beads, so you're going to again bring the same string, go upward. It's going to go upward into this upper bead like this. It's going to go upward like this. It's going to go upward like this, right? So right now we're going to now tie. You're going to fill up this gap here so that I'll show you how you can go to the next step. So right now we're going to have 2 beads only. We're going to have 2 white beads that we're going to use to tie here, right? So you're going to put 2 beads. So you first put 1, then you tie with the second bead. So you're going to tie with the second bead, this. Then you're going to pull. You're going to pull like this, right? So after pulling, this is how it becomes. Okay, so this is how it becomes after pulling. So hope you can see how it looks like on the round. So you can see the curves here. Hope you can see them. So right now we are going to now go forward, but this time around we are going to use a different color. We're going to bring in our light blue to spice up our design, right? To spice up our design, we're going to bring in our light blue beads. Yeah, so how we're going to do now, you're going to use your right hand side of the string. So I'm going to use my right hand side of the string, this one. I'm going to use this right hand side of the string. So what I'm going to do now, before you put any bead, you're going to first put your left hand side of the string into the next bead. The next bead like this. The next bead like this. To the next bead like this. So the string is going to have 2 beads. It's going to go through 2 beads like this. So after that, now we're going to bring in other more 4 beads. But this time around, you're going to have 1 light blue bead and 3 white beads, right? So you're going to have your right hand side of the string. You're going to first put 1 light blue bead, and then you put 2 white beads into the same string. You put 2 white beads. Then you're going to tie with one white bead. You're going to tie with 1 white bead. You're going to tie with 1 white bead, so you pull. So you're going to pull with 1 white bead like this. So after that, now we are going again to have this lower string here. This lower string, you're going to have it enter into these 2 beads here. You're going to have it enter in these 2 beads here, right? So it's going to enter in these 2 beads, this lower string here. So you can put it from inside. So it's going to enter in these 2 beads, these 2 white beads like this. These 2 white beads, right? So after that, now we're going to have 3 beads again. So, but this time we're only going to have 2 white beads and 1 light blue bead, right? So you're going to first put 2 white beads into this upper string. So you're going to put 2 white beads into this upper string here. To this upper string, you're going to have 2 white beads. Then you're going to tie with 1 light blue bead. So you're going to tie with 1 light blue bead. So one you'll be tying with, then you pull, then you pull like this. So after pulling, so I'm going to have this lower string here enter into these two beads here. It's going to enter into these two beads. So I'm going to have this lower string enter into these two beads like this. Hope you can see. It's going to enter, then you pull, then you pull. So after pulling, now you're going to have 3 light blue beads. After pulling, you're going to have 3 light blue beads, the ones we'll be using here. So I'm going to consider this upper string here. So this upper string, I'm going to put 2 beads into the string. Right, so here we're almost reaching the extreme end. Hope you can see. So you're going to fill up this gap here. Yes, so what you're going to do now, we're going to have our 3 beads, but you're going to have 2 white beads. 2 white beads, you put them into this upper string, then you're going to tie with 1 light blue bead. Yes, you're going to tie with 1 light blue bead. Remember, it's the same process that we used on these dark blue beads, right? Same process. Yeah, so what you're going to do now, you're going to have this lower string enter into these 2 dark blue beads. So after that, you still get this same string here, come enter into this upper light blue bead, so you're going to get the same string, enter here like this. Hope you can see. Yeah, so right now we're going to have 2 beads. So we're going to have 2 light blue beads to fill up this gap here in the middle. So we're going to have 2 light blue beads. So you first put one bead like this, then you're going to tie with another light blue bead. Right, you're going to tie with another light blue bead. So one you used to tie with, so you're going to pull. Right, you're going to pull like this. What you're going to do now, we are going to go back to our 5 beads pattern, right? So we have been using the 6 beads pattern, then you're going to now go to 5 beads pattern, right? So you're going to go back to 5 beads pattern to make it narrow, right? So how are you going to do it? So before you put any bead, so you're going to consider this left hand side of your string, enter into the next bead. You first put it into the next bead first, right next to it like this. Yeah, so after that, now we are going to have 3 beads, right? You're going to have 3 beads. So you're going to still use our light blue beads. So you're going to have 3 beads like this. So you're going to use this right hand side of your string. You're going to first put 2 beads into that string. Then you're going to tie with 1 bead. So you're going to tie with 1 bead. Remember, we are using 5 beads pattern right now. Using 5 beads pattern like this. Then you're going to tie like this, right? So after doing that, we're going to have this lower string enter into these 2 beads, right? It's going to enter in these 2 beads. In these 2 beads, right? Like this. So after that, we are going to now bring in our 2 white beads. So instead of 3 white beads, we're going to bring in 2 white beads, right? So you first put 1 bead into this string like this. Then you're going to tie with another white bead. So one you'll be tying with. Then you pull like this. So after doing that, you're going to get this lower string here. this lower string I'm holding, then it's going to enter into the next two beads. It's going to enter into the next two beads like this. Then after that you're going to pull, so then you're going to have two beads again, two white beads, the ones you're going to be using, two white beads. So you put one into the string, then you're going to tie with another one. So you're going to first put one white bead into the string, then you pull. So after pulling, now we are going to have two beads, right? So what you're going to do now, you're going to have one white bead and one light blue bead, right? So you're going to first put one white bead into the string, then you're going to get another light blue bead. It's the one you'll be using to tie with. So you're going to tie with one light blue bead. So then you pull with a light blue bead, right? So after pulling, so you're going to have this lower string enter into these two beads. It's going to enter these two light blue beads like this. So after that, you're only going to use two light blue beads. You're only going to have two light blue beads. Yeah, so you're going to put one into your right hand side of the string, then you're going to tie with another light blue bead. So when you'll be tying with, then you pull with one light blue bead. Yeah, so after that we continue the same process. We're going to have this lower string enter into these two white beads here. It's going to enter in these two white beads. You pull. Yeah, so after that you're going to have two white beads. So you're using your right hand side of your string. So you're going to have two white beads. You first put one white bead, then you tie with another bead. You're going to tie with another white bead. You're going to tie with another white bead. So to cross these two strings, you pull, right? Yeah, so after doing that, now you're going again to put this lower string, enter this lower string into the two white beads like this. It's going to enter in these two white beads like this. So yeah, so we are going to continue the same process. Yeah, hope you can see how it's curving now. It's curving already. So what you're going to do now, the next step will be going for 4 beads pattern. Then we shall be able to finish our flower holder. So now we are going to have this string here go up here. Yeah, so we have reached this extreme end here. So we're going to fill up this gap. So we're going to have this lower string. After putting it into these 2 beads, we're going to put it go upward in this upper bead here like this, right? So here we have 4 beads. So right now we are going to only tie with 1 bead. So we're only going to tie with 1 bead. So we're going to have our white bead. So one you're going to use to tie with. So we're going to use our white bead to tie with it, right? So we're going to tie with our white bead like this. Then you pull, right? So after pulling, this is how it becomes, right? So you can see the curve, right? Beautiful, right? So after that, now we are going to be using our 4 beads pattern, right? So we're going to be using 4 beads. So how do you do that? So before this time around, you're not going to put the string into the next bead. So what you're going to do now, you're just going to go straight into putting the beads into the string, right? So what you can do now, so you can play around, you can still play around with your dark blue beads again. You can bring them back. So what you're going to do, you can first put, so you're going to use 3 beads, right? So you can put 1 dark blue bead. So I'm going to use my right hand side of the string. Then you put your white bead, right? Then you're going to tie again with your dark blue bead. Again. Okay, just to spice up the design like that. So after that, now you're going to get this lower string here. It's going to enter into the next bead, so you don't worry. The more you pull, the more it fixes itself. So what you're going to do now, you're going to have 2 beads again. So whereby you're going to have your white blue bead and your dark blue bead. So you can decide to only use white beads, so it depends on your choice. So you're going to have one white bead into the string, then you're going to tie with another dark blue bead. So you put, then you pull. So you're going to pull, right? So after pulling, now you're going to have this lower string again enter into the next bead, like this. Next bead, it's going to enter into the next bead. It's going to enter into the next bead. So what after that, we're going to have two more beads, right? Two more beads, whereby you're going to have a white bead. You first put it into the string, then you're going to tie with one dark blue bead. So you're going to tie with one dark blue bead. So you intercross, then you pull your dark blue bead like this. So after pulling, so you're going to have this lower string here. This lower string is going to enter into the next bead. It's going to enter into the next bead like this, right? So after putting it into the next bead, we're going to have two more beads, whereby you're going to first put a white bead, then you're going to tie with a dark blue bead. You're going to tie with one dark blue bead like this, then you pull, right? So after pulling, you're going to have this lower string enter into the next bead. So you're going to continue the same process until we reach this extreme end, then we'll be able to finish our flower holder. All right, so we have reached at the extreme end. Hope you can see how beautiful it is. So now we are going to complete this gap here. So we're going to consider this lower string here. It's going to enter into this next bead, then it comes up into this dark blue bead, right? So we're going to do it. So we're going to have this lower string here. It's going to enter into this white bead like this. You put it from inside. Yes. So after that, this same string is going to come up here into this dark blue bead like this up here. So right now we're going to tie with one bead here with one white bead to fill up this gap here in the middle. So what you're going to do now, you're going to have one white bead. So one you'll be using to tie it up this, then you pull, right? So once you pull, it becomes like this. You can see it's beautiful, right? It's our flower pot. Yeah. So what you're going to do now, you're going to tie these strings now. How do you tie them? You just make them go through the beads. Make them go through the beads like this. Make them go through the beads like this. Right? Yeah, so after that, so you join them to the same beads. So make them go through the beads like this. This is how you tie them, right? Yes. So let me know in your comments what you think about today's tutorial. Please, you can comment. What do you think about today's tutorial making our flower pot? In your comments, please. And in case you'd want to reach out to me, you can check on my channel's description. What my channel is about. You can. So bring in our cutter now. We're going to cut off these unwanted parts of the string like this. Even this one as well. You can cut it off. Cut it off, right? All right, so our pot is done. Our flower pot is done. Hope you can see how beautiful it is. Yeah, so now you can try out bringing in some flowers and put inside. Yeah, so this is our mini pot, so you can put in as many flowers as you want. Thank you for watching this video, guys, where we're from making a mini flower pot. Yes, you put your flowers inside and beautify your space, right? Please, and in case you'd want to know anything concerning flower pots, please let me know in your comments. Please comment so that I can get to know what you really want. And in case you'd want to reach out to me, please, you can follow me on my Instagram, on my Facebook and TikTok page as Mugi Craft, or you can check on my channel is about, and reach out to me, please, in case you'd want to know anything. Please, and don't forget to subscribe. So till next time, ciao ciao.